Hello and good morning, or good afternoon, and good evening. Recently, there have been discussions or questions on ethics, morality, and liberation. So, the first thing we need to understand is what is ethics. In Pali and Sanskrit, it is niti. It can be written as NITI or NEETI, niti. So what it means is that convention. So ethics are conventions. So when we say sila, they represent little bit of convention and more of morality. So what is morality? If you take in Pali and in Sanskrit is the dharma or the dhamma. That is the exact meaning that comes to, which is sila. That means when you do something which is good or which takes you to punya or papa, or correct or wrong, right or wrong, good and bad. So this distinction would be the what we can say dharma. Whereas if we take ethics, it's the niti, which means it's a convention. So if I were to see the difference between the conventions and the moral, the conventions are what we have agreed, the law, which is created majorly by the human to ensure that everybody follows it. So it has to be followed. Simple thing is that I need to cross the road at the zebra crossing, or where they have put the marker to cross the road. If not, I'll be fined. Or another reason why I need to do it is that the vehicles can hit me. If I join an organization, there are ethics. So it is conventional behavior what I need to follow while in the organization. And each one of these agreements, what I'm going to have with the organization, need not be moral. That means every ethical conduct need not be moral. But every moral always has ethics in that. Let me give you some examples. Now, in general, stealing is not good. It is morally, it's not good. Ethically is also not good. Why? Because it is having copyright. So anything that is copyrighted shouldn't be stolen, shouldn't be taken, or without permission. So if I take a permission from that person, it no longer becomes stealing because it is following the convention, which means it's ethical. Now, if I take what is not given to me, it becomes morally also a problem. It's not good, and ethically also is not good. In the same way, if I am married, it's a convention. Ethics says that I shouldn't have an extramarital affairs. That's a convention. So sexual misconduct is also part of moral, right? That means when I see moral, if I become moral, ethical is always considered. It's nothing like I need to be ethical. So there are certain other aspect of for the country or for the organization or for the state or for the company where I'm working or within the household, within the family life that are ethical. Example, I shouldn't make sound while eating. I shouldn't speak loud voice. Loud voice is also there in the moral. That means I should not use harsh speech. But harsh speech need not be loud voice, or loud voice need not be harsh speech. So ethically, as a convention, I can lower my voice so that the person who is hearing doesn't feel the irritation, but that need not be harsh speech. But there are certain things which I can have a harsh speech, but I might be having lower voice, but the speech is harsh, which is going to be irritating to the person heart, meaning he should feel pained. That kind is immoral, but need not be unethical or ethical. It has got nothing to do with that. But in general, if I see, almost all moral binding has ethics within that. So now what is moral? Moral means that which makes one to let go of certain strong ideologies or certain strong habit pattern and makes the person more receptive, and that becomes moral. It becomes lighter, so the person experiences very light feeling, whereas immoral gives a person very hard feeling, harsh feeling. So this is a difference between the moral and the ethical. We can come up with various examples for doing that. So what is ethical is normal or conventional. So vohara in Pali, vyavahara in Sanskrit, and transactional in English. So anything that is worldly convention we all follow is ethical. And whatever we follow within the organization has an organizational ethics. Whatever is followed in a country has a country ethics. Whatever followed in a state has got a state ethics. Whatever is followed within a family has a family ethics. But those ethics can be moral, need not be always moral. This is the distinction what we can see, because it's got nothing to do with being immoral or moral. It is a convention what we have agreed to do it. As an example, another great example I can give you, social drinking. So people drink at homes, people drink on social functions. They are ethical, but they are not moral. They are immoral as far as the morality goes, because it is papa bhagiya. That means it takes to the sinful rather than the non-sinful, noble action. That would not take there. But they are ethical as far as the family goes, as far as the, let's say I go for a company party and have a beer, or I take vodka, I take rum or whiskey or whatever drink I want to take. It's allowed. It's ethical, but need not be moral, right? Whereas if I refrain from drinking, it takes care of the moral and also ethical. Why ethical? What's ethics about? It means I'm sober, so the chances of I doing something wrong is fairly less when doing it with intoxication. Same thing with drugs and same thing with tea, coffee, all of that. Like tea drinking, coffee drinking is a norm. It's ethical, but is not really moral, because I'm changing my mental state. So I should restrict my tea and coffee because it's not good for health either. So in that way, whichever is good for the health and good for the person is noble or is moral. Whichever is not good for the mental health and the physical health is immoral, because it takes the person into the danger zone or sinful acts, etc. It increases raga or basic desire, dvesha, hatredness, and moha, delusion. Like coffee, I want to keep on drinking coffee because I love coffee. That loving coffee is an attachment, which is moha. So I don't want moha to be there. That means I should not get attached to coffee or to tea or to whatever it is, whatever drink. because these are addictions. Any addiction is immoral as far as that goes. Now we go to the next one, artha, anartha. This is something transcending both the ethical and the moral. Artha is essence or with value. So what's the most valuable thing? Is nibbana. That means getting into a perfect state of mind, which in other words can lead to vimukti. That is, mukti is liberation. Vimukti is complete liberation. Complete liberation from what? Raga, dvesha, moha. By making myself moral, which is punya bhagya, that is, it will take me to heavenly state of mind. Now what I do is I look at the danger in both sinful and non-sinful. Now if I see both gives me rebirth, so which is anartha, no value, because I need to continue this samsara or existence in this realm or that realm which is circling around. So what I do now, having understood, I transcend both of them. That is the moral and immoral. So using moral and immoral, I break that and transcend it. And I see the only artha is nibbana and nothing else. So I focus my attention on nibbana. So the nibbana is nothing but removing oneself from the raga, dvesha, moha. Raga kshaya of raga. That means giving up of raga, giving up of dvesha, giving up of moha. Make this mind to establish in nibbana. So when it is established in nibbana, there is no rebirth process, because there is no fuel. If there is no fuel, there can't be any rebirth. So basically, ending the journey is the artha. Continuing the journey is anartha, because you are going to circle the same thing again and again. So first I looked into the ethical aspect of it. Second, I transcended the ethical by becoming moral. Third one, I'm transcending the moral into, we can call roughly a spiritual, which means looking at whether it is artha or anartha, just like I saw is moral or immoral. So I can now decide what to do and what not to do. It is dharma or adharma. So I be on the dharma. Then I come to the third one, which is artha anartha. Is it making sense or not making sense? I will do something which makes sense, and the only thing that makes sense is to end the journey. So all my effort is to end the journey, not to continue with the journey in this realm or that realm, nor in the heavenly realm. I have given up the hell realm by making my mind getting so much attached. But the punya bhagya is also an attachment. So why don't I remove both the attachments? Meaning, why don't I let go of the craving? Craving for heavenly existence. Craving as a deva, craving as a brahma, craving as something. If the moment the craving itself is gone, the anartha is craving. So when I let go of the craving, then the nibbana. So start with the conventional, transcend to the moral, and then to beyond the moral value, which is artha and anartha. Another aspect we need to see, this can be done in worldly life, in spiritual life also. So when I want to apply the rules, training rules, do's and don'ts, is what is ethical. Right and wrong is what we can call it as moral. And transcending both is essence and non-essence. So we'll take an example on this side of it. I read the sutta, I practice as per the sutta, and I do and whatever I'm not supposed to do, I will refrain from doing. The initial 5 precept is on the do's and don'ts. I will not do this. I'll refrain from killing, refrain from stealing, refrain from sexual misconduct, refrain from telling lies, refrain from having intoxication. This I can transcend into moral and immoral. Why am I doing it? Is moral and immoral. Is to let go of the attachment towards the lower existences. So if I don't do any one of these, 5 precepts are unbroken, then I come into the moral. So with a very moral foundation, I've just not taken it as an ethical foundation, I've taken it as a moral foundation. Then when I start getting the experiences, I find that this is worth letting go. Other than letting go the negative aspect of it, meaning the sinful aspect of it, we can also let go of non-sinful as well, to transcend this state of existence. So that means the consciousness will not establish in any state of existence. First become ethical, then moral, and then filled with essence. And the only essence is Nibbana. Hope I've given clarity on how I can transcend one with another. So we can also look at the worldly pleasures and the worldly pain, letting go of the worldly pain by worldly pleasure. That can only happen when we know what is out of the world pleasure and out of the world pain. Meaning, if you have something in the world, there should be something outside this world also. So in the Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta, Buddha explains how to let go one with another and ultimately let go of everything. In that way, the Nibbana can be experienced. So we need to apply the same ground, same rules and regulation like we did then with this, so that we exactly understand how to first practice ethics. After we have practiced ethics, how to practice moral values. And having understood the moral values, only the value, only the essence. And that is the time when you experience Nibbana, because we don't have Raga, Dvesha, Moha. Hope this provides you clarity on all the 3, and look forward to talk to you again. And thanks for the questions with relation to that, and appreciate on that. Any trailing questions you have, we can have another session on different scenarios. But I just wanted to make a short video so that it is clear. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have watched the entire one. And I strongly recommend or strongly request you to subscribe to my channel so that you can benefit from the Dhamma. Thank you.